This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo.
You're listening to INC Radio.
Broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. DZEM 954 AM station. Here to bring you great conversations about faith, people, places, culture, and recent events all around the district. Join us on YouTube at INCRadio.org. Hello, Northern Midwest and the rest of the world. It's time to get this show started.
Hey everyone, it is now time to get this show started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone tuning in to INC Radio Northern Midwest Satellite Studio. I'm one of your hosts, Gabriel Romero from Bloomingdale, Illinois. Glad to be with you all this afternoon. I know it's been a couple weeks or so since we were all together, but glad to have you all joining us today. Don't forget, you can always drop your comments, anything related to the topic. If you have a birthday greeting, if you want to say hi to everyone in the YouTube live chat, please go ahead and do so. But for our topic today, I'm very glad to have some very special guests with us. They are two among the many who help us in our district of Great Lakes, helping us with the activities that we all do together in our region, in our part of the world. And so I always get lost at this part, but whoever wants to introduce themselves first is very more than welcome to do so. If we want to do ladies first, why not? Let's go ahead and do that. So let's say hi to.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sister Melissa, and I'm from the local congregation of Lake County. And I am one of the CFO officers, particularly the booklet organization. And I was born in this district, but I spent almost 10 years in the District of Florida, and I've been back in this district for about 2.5 years.
Nice. Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back. I'm sure you don't miss the cold weather, especially transition from.
I like cold weather, so I don't miss the weather.
No, you don't. Oh. Well, we're glad to have you here with us today. But you're not alone. Let's say hi to our other guest with us this afternoon. Hello.
Hello, hello to all po who's viewing this afternoon, and for those who are in the morning time zone, good morning, and for those who are in the evening time zone, good evening po. I am Brother Alex De Jesus from the local of Louisville, Kentucky, who just celebrated we just celebrated our anniversary. I'm the booklet president in the district, and I'm also a deacon in the local of Louisville. Happy and glad that we will be joining this afternoon.
Nice. We're glad to have you both here. And again, happy belated anniversary to Louisville. I think that's one of the activities we're going to highlight a little bit later in our program. But on to our main topic for today with both of you. Again, you can see down below our topic for this afternoon, family forged by faith. As you both had mentioned, right, you are leaders of the booklet, or for those who don't know, those are married members of the Church of Christ or Iglesia ni Cristo. But I guess we can talk about your experiences in leading, of course, not only the married members within your local congregations and in our district, but the whole family, right? Because that is our topic for today, right? A family. And let's start small. How have been your experiences in creating activities for your local congregations? Because I'm sure, right, within your local congregations, brethren there have many different interests, and there's a variety of things to do, of course, depending on the area in which you live. And so, how do you, formulate these ideas, and who, I guess, do you collaborate with?
So
Whoever wants to go first. You have lots of ideas in your head, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. So for our local, of course, it's always a team. We always have the CFO officers in our local, and they always give suggestions, recommendations, what are the activities that we can always promote or do in our locals, and that's always going through the local leadership. Because we want every activity to be successful, that all brethren will be participating. So we try to get ideas from other brethren. So it's not just those who are leading or who are the local leadership, but we also solicit suggestions from regular members. And of course, everything we do, we have to meet the spiritual guidance, or we have to follow the spiritual guidance in creating requests for activities.
Yes, and so similar to what Kai Alex mentioned, I'm also a deaconess, and so I try to take advantage of our committee prayers when we meet with the brethren. We have from CWS all the way to booklet, and so I'd always try to give everyone an opportunity to share any ideas for activities that they have, because I really like to, I don't want to just do activities that sound good to me. If the brethren really want to do something, I try my hardest to make it happen. And then also, I also have a part sometimes in our Kadiwa and Binhi meetings. And so I always try to remember to ask them, what ideas do you have? And a lot of times they share their ideas, which is really nice to see. And we have a number of Kadiwa, young Kadiwa and Binhi who have, this year they've come up with some really good ideas. And so I really value their opinion, and I put polls out for a congregation. And then I just, I try to talk to the brethren as much as possible and, see what they're interested in. And then if they really want something to happen, I bounce it off of, Kai Alex or Kajuni, our district CFO overseer, and say, is this activity allowed? And a lot of times it is. And so, it's just a matter of getting an ARF submitted and, coordinating the activity. And a lot of times we can make these things happen for the brethren, and they, I think they appreciate when you take their suggestions seriously, and then an activity can happen.
Yeah, I feel like this is a shared sentiment. I saw a couple of comments. A familiar one, I think a familiar name from March de Jesus. I think a familiar name to you, Alex. But family activities all will include every member. Those that include every member are always fun. And then another comment from Leslie Esguerra in Naperville. She says CFO activities, or Christian family organizations activities in Naperville, are a result of suggestions from the brethren, which is really nice to see. Because I'm sure, like what you said, Sister Melissa, that everyone has different interests. Everyone has different hobbies that they pursue, and I'm sure it's very interesting to see what they come up with, right? From cooking to, I'm sure, gardening is a common activity as well, or even I've seen, right, like brethren go out to like play sports or go to play games or like but board games, for example. So it is a nice variety to see all of that. But now maybe it might be a challenging thought to some. I don't think for you, but let's go bigger to the entire district. As I think you both mentioned before, where you're from, but you're hours apart, right? So how is it for a collaboration of that scope to make sure that activities on a larger scale do remain as successful as the ones that you hold in your local congregations? I'm sure a lot of talks, a lot of meetings, all of that.
Yes, me and Alex and the other district booklet officers, we meet on a pretty regular basis, and with Kajuni, and we're very encouraged to always share new ideas during these caucuses, and then we also communicate a lot online, just like bouncing ideas off of each other. And just to give you an example, like one of the Kadiwa in my congregation, he just turned Kadiwa, and he approached me and he said, "Can we do flag football?" And I was like, "That's a really good idea," because I've never seen a flag football, in this district or my previous district. And so I immediately contacted Brother Alex and Brother Junie, and I wanted to know, is this allowed? And so stay tuned, because it is allowed. And so I'm going to, what I typically do is I put a online form just to gauge interest, because, we really want to make sure that before we put all the effort in coordinating these activities, that there really is a significant amount of interest. And so in the next few weeks, I should be able to submit this, and hopefully it'll spread out to the different congregations. Just an interest survey to see if how many brethren out there are really interested in flag football. So hopefully there's a decent amount, and then we'll get that rolling.
Yes, but that's as Melissa said, we are always meeting po. And since we have a big district, and there's a couple of district officers, we assigned district officers to be coordinators of locals. So the coordinators, we asked them to solicit ideas and activities that we can request for the entire district. And when we're saying, Camilisa and I are both parents, so for the bookload po in the district, what we try is also to be the parents of the Kadiwa and the Binhi. So the activities that we are planning, we're not just thinking of the bookload. We're also thinking of the Kadiwa and the Binhi and the CWS. So most of our activities that we submit to the central is a joint activity po. And we want that to be successful. And to be successful, we have to discuss that consistently in our group as a district, and also through our coordinators to each local.
Nice. I see there's a lot of positive response already to your comment, Sister Melissa, about flag football in our YouTube live. So we'll see that hopefully in the future. But I guess along that line too, let's say the activity has taken place. How I guess now is a little bit of a time of reflection, if you will. But like, how does it feel? Or how have your experiences been, looking back on an activity and feeling, I was able to create a great memory for the brethren, those who attended. How does it feel for you as leaders?
It feels really good. One particular activity that comes to mind is the Binhi Friendship Day that we hosted in Lake County. It was a district-wide Binhi Friendship Day, and this is back when the congregations of like Kansas were still part of our district. Wow. And at the end of the activity, like the kids, the Binhi Kadiwa, they were like so sweet. They thanked us. Like the one of the brothers, he stood in front of everyone with the mic, and he expressed his thanks, and they even got thank you cards for us, and he just was so appreciative, and it was a lot of work to get that together, but when the brethren show their appreciation like that, especially the young brethren, it really it's very heartwarming to see that they value your efforts, and it just makes you want to keep doing it more and more.
Yes, and all our activities, we have a post-activity evaluation, and a lot of times we also say a thank you letter to our administrations, And we know that they're happy if our activities are successful. But we're also very happy to report to them that we have a successful activity. One example po is an idea that was suggested by Camilisa, I think it was 2 years ago, about the career seminar. And it was a very successful 3-week seminar. And we know that the brethren who attended that seminar have benefited a lot from those who are the resource speakers. So having successful activities, all the district officers of Buklod are happy. As we know that our administration is also happy when we are reporting a successful activity.
Very glad to hear. Looking back, right, with the grand scope of those, like what you mentioned, Sister Melissa, the district activities, right? It's a team effort, not only between, those who are, organizing, or those who are, maybe hosting, for example, but it's also an effort on those who join too, right? Because it is their participation that also makes it successful. And so, a question for both of you, like, how does or what have you learned as maybe a spectator, or maybe you were involved as well, seeing the brethren, or that love for the brotherhood through their care for each other, like making sure that within the activities, right, they're inclusive of everyone, or like making sure everyone has a certain task or role. So how do you feel seeing others, rising up to the challenge of making sure that these are successful?
It makes me feel very, I guess, proud of the youth of the church and the parents who raised them well, where they this happened at that same activity, the Vinhi Friendship Day, where, there were a few of the Vinhi who were a little bit on the shyer side and didn't quite know as many brethren. And this one sister, I think she was from Naperville, she really stood out to me because she noticed that, and she reached out to the other sister and, really tried to include her and make her feel comfortable. And, it makes me feel hopeful for the church that, even the youth of the church, they're really showing that they care for each other. They really care for the brethren. And it's really nice to see that.
Yes. As we know po, our district is big in area. So a lot of times, if we will have a district activity, a lot of brethren are traveling 5, 6, I think some have 7 or 8 hours. And seeing them uniting with the activities of the church, you already feel that we are happy. We are proud that all of us are uniting. And seeing everybody participating is also a sign that we treat ourselves as equal. All of us are equal. Like, we're leading the activity, but all of us are equal. Everybody has contribution. So no one has no contribution. Everybody who attended has contribution. So seeing those activities, we're happy that everybody is uniting with the church administration.
No, it does really make me also feel good hearing your responses, and even just a simple effort of reaching out and showing your concern, right? It's going to change and grow into something much stronger, much tighter. And so I guess the last question before we wrap up our discussion for this afternoon, how or what would you say to maybe someone who is trying to plan these activities, but they're maybe like finding difficulty in coming up with something, or they're unsure of how successful it's going to be? What would you say to that individual who's trying to create such or replicate the success of activities that we've had?
I would say, always welcome to approach me or Alex. We've kind of been doing this for a while. They can reach out to any of the district booklet officers. They can reach out to their, a lot of times I reach out to my resident minister. They are often eager to help guide us. And then also check out the social media groups for the CFO, like on Facebook, there's a Christian Family Organization page. And you can see what's possible. There's so many like amazing activities that are happening around the world. And I get me and my current resident minister, he's always bouncing ideas between us, and there's so many things that are possible. And don't be afraid to ask for help, because a lot of times brethren will surprise you if you ask them for help. A lot of times they'll be eager to help you.
So yeah, we're open for suggestion. Do not feel free to share your thoughts and your experience. Like what we mentioned, we have our district officer coordinating to each local. We will be happy to hear your suggestion. And please share your thoughts, your experience. We will collaborate it with our leaders. Of course, we have to go to our leaders, and we will also collaborate and ask the help of our brethren to be successful. But feel free to share your experience, your thoughts, and any suggestion.
Nice. So you heard it here first from the booklet. I'm sure, of course, and it's not only you two as the booklet officers, but those who are married inside the church. But of all ages, please don't hesitate to reach out to our those who lead us in our district, and they are more than willing, as you've heard, to listen to your ideas and hopefully implement them for future activities. Sooner the better. I just wanted to read something really quick that I saw in our YouTube live chat. We've been seeing some ideas for activities as well. I'm not sure if this one would fly. I think from Jerry Weeks, he mentioned a recliner channel changing race. I'm not sure how that one would.
No, he actually suggested like a kind of like Unity games, but for like the older brethren.
Oh, there you go.
Who can get out? Who can get up from the couch the fastest?
Like we said, many activities. If you have your ideas, please go ahead and share, because as we've mentioned in our broadcast today, right, this isn't just an individual effort. It is a group effort forged by faith. It is one family here inside the Church of Christ, where we're all listening to each other's ideas, welcoming each other. Especially if you're, happen to move into the area and you don't know anyone, we're very welcoming, accommodating, listening to your ideas as one brotherhood. And speaking of, that is going to be our sign for this week. So let's all learn together how to sign the word brotherhood.
This is your sign.
Hi everyone, for this week's sign, we're going to be signing the word brotherhood. What you're going to do first is that you're going to shape two capital L's with your hands just like this. With your non-dominant, you're going to stick it in front of you just like this in a 45-degree angle. Take your dominant with the back part here, touching your forehead. And then after it touches your forehead, you're going to bring this hand down to the back of your other hand, just like that. That's how you sign the first part of brotherhood. Afterwards, what you're going to do, take both of your hands just like this. Have your thumb and your ring fingers, these fingers right here, touching together just like this. What you're going to do is that you're going to interlock both of your hands together just like this, with your thumbs and ring fingers joined together. And then what you're going to do is shake your hand just a little bit, just like this, to represent the bond of the brotherhood, right? Just like that. So all together, it would be brotherhood. Again, one more time, brotherhood. This is our sign for the week. Thank you so much for joining us, and hope to see you again next time.
This is your sign.
Thank you to our CSC department for teaching us how to sign the word brotherhood. And speaking of brotherhood, we have our upcoming CFO activities and our recent activities as well. So let's see, like which activities we had, and of course our upcoming activities as well. So let's see. CFO in action. Okay, as for our recent activities, hey, we always see them every week. The local congregation of Chesterton having their board games activity this week. See, that's chess, checkers, and Louisville had their oral care seminar.
I saw the size of that denture.
Give the people in the back a really good look, right? And in Park Ridge, they had their table tennis activity. They have like two, what do you call those, boards? In Park Ridge, they had their sushi making activity as well.
It looks really good.
I know. I wish I like went to that activity. Those look really delicious. And then Chicago had their book club night. Oh, it looks real fancy.
So formal, so fancy.
I know. Cincinnati had their firefighter appreciation activity. I think they gave away groceries and of course things as well. And Chicago North had their park cleanup activity. And if you're from Chicago North, let us know which park that was at. And in Louisville, they had earlier Louisville had their local anniversary.
14 years.
14 years. Yes, this is their celebration. And as for another local anniversary, is Indianapolis. And yes,
a lot of food.
And the district also held its Tagisan Latino activity last Saturday. It was in the weekend. We also had our coastal cleanup activity that was in Indiana Dunes. They're in Indiana, yes. It wasn't the name. It's District Unity Games, a powerlifting edition.
Wow. I'm like intimidated a little.
And as for upcoming activities, we will continue our Tagisan ng Talino activity.
One more.
One more activity before one more schedule before the final for the district finals in June. And we will also have our district-wide CFO Day activity that's on May 17th in Buswoods in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Yes.
Is it Schaumburg or Schaumburg?
Schaumburg.
And these are the individual venues and schedules as well. If you're nearby, attend their activity there as well. So those are our activities for our CFO in action, and part of our new segment in our show is our comment challenge. So let's check out, from last week's. Well, not really.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, activity. We had our parenting activity. Sorry, we were talking about activity. It's like it's all the time on my mind now. Parenting topic. Comment challenge. So, let's see at our creative hashtags. I can see my logo. It's like racing Rockford. Bloomingdale, cherish every moment, and Lexington, first steps. Really creative hashtags. And then great minds think alike. They are talking about, like bedtime stories. And of course, like if you're going to read books to your children, pick one with a lot of pictures because it keeps them entertained. As a former child, I would know.
Me too. Those are the kinds I like most.
And then these are some of like the great ideas, great suggestions from our different the different people who are tuning in, right? And a common theme I'm seeing here is like showing that you appreciate them and showing you're acknowledging the good things that they do. And these are some of the funny comments that we've had. I like that last one in particular, detest us, but they make cute. If then you're fine. Yeah. Like and I don't know. I know what that is. That is like when they kinda do that thing with their eyes where they're like,
Man, to get out of trouble.
make a cute face, yeah, and you're like, you know what? I'm not mad anymore.
Not that I've done that or anything, but I know what they're talking about.
I have. I'll admit, I have. That's good. And of course, congratulations to the local Congress of Lexington, Louisville, and Lake County for the most participation from last week. So that's it for our comment challenge. Continue to participate. Maybe you'll see your comment or your locale in our next week. But we have come to an end on our show. But before we do that, actually, we want to greet two local congregations that are celebrating their anniversaries this month. The local congregation of Lake County at May 18 and the local congregation of Cincinnati at May 21. Both of them are celebrating 29 years. So they were established both in 1996. Well, that was before I was born. I do want to say our special thanks first up to our district ministers here in the District of Great Lakes, Brother Arthur P. Agag, our Assistant District Minister, and Brother Elmer A. Sarmiento, our District Minister. And a very special thanks to Brother Wally Taray, our INCRadio Station Manager, to Brother Angelo Eranio V. Manalo, our CEBSI President and CFO Coordinator, and most especially to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our Executive Ministers. Thank you so much for making activities. See, it's on my mind now. Making topics like this, shows like this possible. And we'll see you again next week. Stay phenomenal, be phenomenal. And I hope you all have a great weekend. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.